Intermediate, and Advanced, we are going to do some fun kata training. One of the things that, now that you're stuck at home, one of the things we're trying to encourage you is to keep practicing what you know. And we know that repetition is the mother of skill. But variety is the spice of life, is it not? And so it's important to realize that. So when you're training at home, let's go ahead and keep practicing. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. As a matter of fact, you might even be able to find ways to keep it interesting, keep it training. It might even give you a different perspective in your katas, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some fun kata training. And so I'm going to just take Pinan Sho, demonstrate some different ways that you can have fun with it. Some of these ways will also help you if you don't have a lot of room. Now, some of them won't make a difference on that. You need a little room, or you're going to have to do some double stepping. But some of these will make it to where if you don't have a lot of room, you can see that you can still train your katas. Now, let me be clear about something though. At some point, you need to be training the kata just as it was taught to you. But on the other side, sometimes this variety of training will keep it fun, it'll keep it exciting, and it does sometimes make you see things that maybe you never noticed. And so I want to really encourage you with that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about Pinan Sho. And the first way we're going to run it is we are not going to do it with our hands, okay? Now, by the way, if you don't know the Kata Pinan Sho, then you need to go to that video and try to learn the kata first before you can really do this, okay? But let's do the first way, and that is without your hands. You're just going to run Pinan Sho, and all you do is just walk through it, and you have to imagine the block, imagine the punch, okay? So you just put your hands right behind you, and we're going to run Pinan Sho. If you want to do it with me, go for it. So we're here, we bow, you step out, look. Now, what are you going to be doing here? You're going to be concentrating on your stances. So I look. See, without your hands, suddenly you'll give your feet just a little more thought. So I turn, low block, high block, high block, high block, trying to work those good Zenku-dodachis, trying to work that good crescent step. Turn, forward fighting stance, turn, forward fighting stance, turn. Don't forget those good key eyes. And again, work on those good wide back stances. Maybe you can make them lower and a little stronger. Pinan Sho. Look, Mom, no hands. All right, let's try it again. But this time we're only going to run Pinan Sho with one hand. So this time I'm going to tuck my left hand away, and you're going to only use your right hand. Now, what this will do is it'll force you to have to think about what that other hand is doing as you're concentrating on this hand doing a good technique. And sometimes that can be a really great way to make you think about your other hand. See, when you do a low block, you're moving two hands, but everybody always is thinking of this hand. You go to do a middle block, and you're always using two hands. But instead of everybody's always thinking of this hand, they kind of forget what this hand is doing. And so this gets to be a great way to kind of demonstrate what that other hand is doing. So we're going to put our left hand away. Let me bow. Yeah, right fist, left palm. Good low block, huh? A lot of times people will make mistakes as they do this the first time, second time, even the 10th time, okay? Because it really does. It makes you have to actively be thinking about that other hand. And then, of course, the other thing you can do is go ahead and now do it with your other hand, okay? I'm not going to illustrate that, but that's something you can do on your own, okay? Try it with the right hand or the left hand hidden away, and you got to remember, right fist and left palm. Palms out, palms in, down low block, okay? And then that becomes the toughest thing. Remember, this hand's chain ring. Now normally I'd have the other hand, but I've got to just think about that chain ring hand and pulling it back. All right, so, and you do that with the one hand put away, and then try it with your other hand put away. All right, another fun way to run Pinan 1 is pretending you're in an elevator. All right, but there's nobody else there, okay? So basically you're inside of a square. So you run the whole kata in the square. And this can be good. Again, if you don't have a lot of room, you're going to have to do some double stepping as you practice your katas. Now, we don't want that to become too ingrained in your training, but like I mentioned in the Facebook video, sometimes you've got to learn to adapt. Karate is not just about the repetition and the skill, it's also about learning to adapt, okay? So let's give this a try. Pinan Sho, I'm going to stay right inside this box, okay? So I'm right here, do the school seal, double low block. Pinan Sho from the elevator or closet or maybe your jail cell, right? Okay, now let's try Pinan Sho in a crowded elevator. You are stuck. You can't move. Now, I hope you won't really do this in a crowded elevator, but I want you to know you're not to move your feet. So now we're going to run the entire kata. I'm going to bow. I come to a get ready stance. And now from the crowded elevator, I run the whole kata without turning or moving my feet at all. I'm going to do everything imagining the kata, but I have to imagine where I'm at. And that becomes difficult because a lot of times people don't realize you get here, you block and you punch, and then you go to turn around. And when you cannot physically do it, they can't remember whether it's a right low block, a right hammer fist, a left punch, or a left hammer fist. It suddenly becomes a little confusing, all right? So let's have some fun with that, all right? So we're going to do that. So I'm here, we bow, we do the school seal, get ready stance. Pinan Sho in the crowded elevator, okay? So that'll be something that you could work on. It will really get you thinking. And why this could be good is because of the fact that forcing you to think out the kata and every little detail will make you notice things you never noticed. Plus, it's getting you just to do it again. And again, that's what we want. We want you doing things over and over and over. Now we're going to do one more just for today, okay? Maybe I can show other fun ones another day. But the last one, this is a really, really tough one if you do not have your kata down. Actually, I'm sorry, we're going to do two of them. If you do not have your kata down very well, these next two can be really, really tough. Now, I'm not going to run it completely with this first one. This is the kata in 4 ways. One of the things that happens to a lot of students is they get used to always facing one direction. They always get used to facing one direction, facing the direction. When you go to run Pinan 1, in our dojo, we're here running Pinan 1. Everybody gets used to this way is the block punch. And then this direction, this time I'm going to do the hammer fist while I'm facing this direction. And what happens is we get to where we're relying on the environment. Kata should be internal. It is in us. It doesn't matter what's out here. The kata, the karate, is in our hearts. It's in our minds. You should be able to close your eyes. Oh, and that's another fun way to run your kata. Close your eyes, okay, and run your kata. And make sure you have enough room for it, okay? but you could go outside or something when the weather's nice and try it where you close your eyes. And that can be a great way to make sure you're doing all your stances correctly. If you end up starting the kata in a certain spot, facing a certain direction, and by the time you finish, you're way off facing the wrong direction, that can be a great way to run your katas, okay? Sometimes when I'm trying to perfect a kata, I'll do that because it gets me thinking about my movements and less about the environment, okay? And that's important. So another way of also running it, besides your eyes being closed, that's another one, is also go 4 directions. So if I'm running Pinan 1, I run Pinan 1 while I was facing this direction. Then once I complete the kata, I face a total different direction and I run Pinan Sho. And so on. Then I turn and face a different direction and run Pinan Sho. Then I face a different direction and run Pinan Sho. If you get really good at this, where you're not getting confused, then turn and face corners. Sometimes that can really mess with you, and so that can be a great way of training. So try that because, again, it creates some variety in the training. Yes, we're doing the kata over and over and over, but it creates some variety in the training, all right? And it will make sure that you really know it. Now, the last way is called the hung tai, the mirror image of the kata. Now, this is where you do everything absolutely backwards. All right, so let's go ahead and let me just demonstrate this. Normally, when you run Pinan Sho, for instance, I bow, I put my right fist in the left palm, the palms go out, palms go in, I step out with the left foot, and then I move my right foot first as I do a left low block, step and punch, all right? But if I do the mirror image, I have to do everything backwards. So instead of my left foot sliding to my right, now my right's going to slide to my left. Instead of a right fist in the left palm, I put my left fist into the right palm. I go palm out, palm in. Instead of my left foot stepping out, now I step out with the right foot. Instead of moving my right leg to get into the first position, I move my left foot. Instead of doing a left low block, I did a right low block. And now I step and punch with the left hand. So everything is backwards. This is fun and it's good training, by the way. The reason it's good training is because there's a lot of movements in the kata where you only practice it on one side. Let me give you a few illustrations. Pinan 1, you always work a right hand fist, but you never work a left one. You work a 270-degree spin on your right leg, but you never work it on your left leg in Pinan 1. You always do your ki eyes with your right hand. You're never doing it with your left hand, okay? Pinan 2, for instance, you do a right side kick back fist, but you never do a left one. You do a right spear hand, but you never do a left one. So the hung tai will give you, or you do a right reinforced block, but you never do a left one. So doing the mirror image forces you to practice the other side of your body that you may not naturally do. Let me give you a little warning though. Always practice the right way first and then do the mirror image. And always make sure you're trying to put those together. Never just run the mirror image all the time. I've seen where people get confused because they only do the mirror image in their training. Years ago, one of my daughters, and both my daughters, were doing a team kata competition. And one was running the Pinan Sho the regular way, and the other was doing the mirror image. Well, after working several weeks of the mirror image, after the competition, my daughter had trouble going back to the regular way because she had trained it, doing everything backwards, okay? So I think it's an essential part of training, but don't forget to train it the regular way too, so that you can always go back and forth, okay? But let me go ahead and show you Pinan Sho mirror image, all right? Pinan Sho hung tai. And I do mirror image training pretty frequently, and not all the time, but it is on a regular basis. I do mirror image training because I do believe it is an essential part of taking the kata and going to another level in your training. It will help you see things that you never noticed. It will give you a different perspective of your katas, and it's just fun. It really is. You'll find the first couple times you try it, it can be really confusing, but as you try it a few times, it's almost like you get into a mode. Everything starts coming out backwards, and your brain sort of adapts to that. And it's really good training. It will really stimulate your thinking. It's good on your discipline and focus, as well as help you better understand your kata in a different way. You guys have a great day. I hope you have fun with some of these kata training ideas. I hope you do close your eyes and run the kata, and then on another day maybe we'll talk about other ways that you can train your kata to help improve it and make it better. But this is just great fun for your kata training. Have a great day.